spinning wheel here somewhere.
There we go.
Jesus.
Oh, we're live. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen of the Irish Rugby Banter Group and the Ruck This page. It's Thursday. It's 8:30. It is our last show of 2024. So we
And a
said
Christmas party.
it's a virtual kind of Christmas party. Which I look at Mike Reedy there. He's brilliant. Matt Boland is in a Christmas shirt. And hold on a second. I have to show mine. There's mine.
Way to go.
I had to wear it because the wife bought it for me for this particular purpose. Anyway, you are all more than welcome. And
I'm going to the pub dressed like this after the show.
Okay, all right. Okay, right. Now, you're all more than welcome. So I'll do my usual good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome. And depending on whatever time or platform you get to watch us this on, how are you doing? Well done. Hold on. We have the usual latecomer. Where is he? Dara Weston, same jumper.
That's it. I ordered it at the start of November and it finally arrived today.
Oh, very good. Okay.
I'll go home and change.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, folks, a very warm welcome to you all watching, and give us all your opinions and your comments and all that sort of stuff. All we're doing is throwing a quick eye over 2024, what was the season, with one or two items that popped up that we will just go through briefly. Joining me this evening is Santa himself, Mike Reedy. We have Matt Boland. We have our returning guest, a friend at this stage, a frequent guest, John Peters. We also have Peter Martin, and always the latecomer. We should find him at this stage. Dara Weston, how the hell are you?
I'm grand. It was Microsoft updates. It wasn't me.
Oh yeah, I've heard that excuse before, Dara. Yeah.
Is that what you call it?
We've all heard that. Now, gentlemen, are we all well in ourselves? Are we good?
We're all good. We're all perfect.
Have you all done the Christmas shopping and online shite and all this sort of stuff that we go through this time of the year? No? Yeah? No?
Well, my wife did.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, sorry, there's no point in asking you, Mike. All right. Okay, folks. We said that we'll shoot back and talk about 2024, Ireland's performances and some of the provincial performances and all that sort of stuff. But before we go into that, just a couple of things that popped up. This always happens because of the nature of the sport and the news cycle and social media and all these things kind of pop up. Right. Now, Dara Weston, I'll go around that way. Dara, Peter, John, Matt, Mike. So, Dara, you first. It was quoted about Jack Nienaber came out and said he was asked why Leinster's line out was so bad. And if we look at it, I was looking at it today, 50% return on their own ball, Dara, so far. And Nienaber's excuse was it was a new calling routine. I don't think that's Dara.
So he said there's a change to the laws coming up in the next couple of weeks.
And also the calling routine.
Yeah. And so as a result of the change to the laws, they were practicing a new call routine to whatever. I think you have 30 seconds for the line out now or something like that. So there's none of this rushing back and forth and getting your calls and everything like that. It has to be form up, quick throw in, throw the dart, and actually take it and move. So I think this new, calling technique was part of this, quick thing. Now, he did go on to say that, yes, and in fairness, I respected it. He actually held his hands up and went, do you know what? We tried it. It's, you can't polish a turd, but you can roll it in glitter. So, we can probably make it look better. But he said, overall URC, I think we have like 90% line out wins, and Heineken Cup Investec 80-something%. So, we're doing okay. Start this year hasn't been great. Possibly some of that has been down to missing Sheehan. But it's a work in progress. So I mean, I was quite happy that he came out and addressed the actual issue and said, "Look, hey, hands up. This is the reason why we think it went to shit at the weekend."
Yeah, but I think a lot of the criticism was Dara that he said it was a new line out routine, which people kind of went, what? Anyway, okay. Thanks, Dara. Peter Martin, your thoughts on
that? Well, Mr. Nienaber, as we all know, has got, I suppose, history and in trying to be ahead of the curve. So I would actually tend to go along with part of what he's saying, that they're basically trying to constantly looking like he's been part of a Springbok setup for the last 5-6 years, the last 2 World Cup campaigns, where they've always tried to be ahead of the curve, looking at innovation, looking for the next angle, trying to see around corners, all that kind of stuff when it comes to the game. So it wouldn't surprise me that they're trying something a little bit different. Now, that being said, I do think there's an issue with Leinster insofar as, and I think we've kind of, like Shane Byrne was on the other week, he was, and it's by extension, Leinster catches a cold, Ireland gets a flu. And I think what the issue is that we don't have somebody who really kind of dominates the line-out. Leinster don't have somebody who dominates the line-out, and I think obviously then by that extension, Ireland is the same. I think Ryan Baird has been missed because Ryan Baird, when he's there, is pretty good at the line-outs. He's kind of developed himself into being a bit of a line-out mouse in that space. James Ryan, I don't know what's going on there, but he was the great white hope, I think, really, that everybody was looking to, that this guy is only 6'7", 6'8". He's a big guy. He got, he was, we know what Joe Schmidt basically put him in a team to get him, he was fast tracked into the Leinster setup, into Ireland by extension, and he had that fantastic, unbelievable start to his professional career. But I think things have wobbled and, coughed, spluttered, farted a little bit in the last couple of seasons. Now, he had some of his head injury, he had a couple of bad concussions, but I just think that that's the part of his game that's missing. Or I understand he's missing. Like, he's a workhorse lock. He gets through incredible amount of, his stats for hitting rucks, for making tackles. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't think we've somebody who basically, since Devon Toner, we've nobody who rules the airways, and I think that's
no. I tell you, no. I agree with you, Pete. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. What I was going to say to you was, Pete, and Dara and everyone, the most recent line-out operator that Leinster had, we let go, was Ross Maloney. Didn't play every game. He was a bloody good line-out operator, I'll tell you that. John Peters, your thoughts on this Nienaber's excuse that they're using a new line-out call thing. What do you think? Is that?
Well, if it works against La Rochelle in a couple of weeks' time, then I don't think we won't be worrying about it there. But to Pete's point there, so definitely I think Ryan Baird, they badly missed Ryan Baird, and we don't have a go-to man in the lineup. But I could see there, Nienaber and then the South African, they want to be ahead of the curve. Look, I think as part of it, as I say, as Pete and Dara saying, part of it is sort of trying to be ahead. If we see sort of some progression, by the time we get round to, maybe at the weekend against Connaught place and also against Munster, but I'd be sort of more keen to see how it looks by the time they get to play La Rochelle in January, because they're also going to have to develop there, because they're not that quick to the line out as well. They take their time, I think sort of it could be, it could benefit us. Maybe it's just it's a work in progress, and hopefully we'll see sort of the fruition from it, come January and the big games that come. But yeah, we could do with a sort of a real line-out operator. As you said, Peter, so Ross Maloney was the last one we had there, sort of, and prior to that, Devon Toner. But I'll hold judgment at this stage. I think, just if this is what he's trying, good luck to him. If it works, great. We'll all be singing his praises. If it doesn't, we say, what the hell was that all about now, guys?
But it is a worry though, John, as Peter Peter said, if Leinster catch a cold, Ireland get the flu.
Absolutely. No, there's a problem, and I think it goes even further than that. I think there's something not right. Whether it's Kelleher's throwing into the line, are we missing Dan Sheehan? Because when Dan Sheehan is there, there does not seem to be any issues with the lineouts at Leinster. Just I think we've always sort of felt that Sheehan was a great lineout operator, and Kelleher is better on the scrums. He's a sort of tougher. But I think Sheehan has got on more. So maybe it's sort of Gus McCarthy, it's his chance to shine. I think, as you say, it is a problem. As Pete says, to catch a cold, let Ireland get the flu. Something that we've got to try and fix it up, by the Six Nations. But I'm not overly concerned at this stage. I think at the end of the day, they're still winning. They may not be winning pretty, but they're top of the table in the URC, 2-2 in the Heineken Cup, and they're well placed to get a home quarter final as well. So as I say, it's not all doom and gloom.
All right, okay. Thanks, John. Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Sarah. Matt Boland, your thoughts. Sorry, Matt, but before I ask you, I just need to acknowledge people who are on. We have Gregor Galway saying Micah Santa, Megan Augusta, Yuck the lads, Alan Dorman, happy Christmas, troops. Happy Christmas to you, Alan, as well. And Megan also says, I agree, Ross is missed. He was a brilliant player for us. Okay, Matt Boland, over to you. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, going on what the previous lads have said, I think there was some very good points made there, especially John. Like, when you're changing something in a team, it takes time. Like, doing practice runs and drill runs and training is completely different to putting it into play and match play, and the lads need to settle down on that. And if that's what Nian Aber is doing, then look, leave him to it for the moment. It's only one game where it went really badly wrong. They need a couple of goes at it for it to see any sort of momentum in it and progression. So if that's the case, and come 2 or 3 games down the road and everything's going well, we'll be singing his praises. But again, if it doesn't get any better, we'll be looking for more change. But there are a couple of other elements, as they've already said. Like, Dan Sheehan is a big loss at the moment. He is a fantastic dart thrower. There's no doubt about it. And I think they're more settled as in the line out when he's there, regarding the call and whatever. But I know they are missing the likes of Ryan Baird and the proper callers. And I think when they get that settled and they have their number 1 and number 2 caller in the lineup, that should kind of settle things up. And hopefully then with the new process that Nian Aber is putting in, they'll have it perfected. And then we'll be talking about, Jesus, do you remember the time we were shitting the lineup and now we're fucking whopper again? Do you know what I mean? So these things have a time. They need time to filter through. And I think a little bit of it has come down from the Ireland lineout malfunctioning as well. And I think it's just trickled down, like you said, in the opposite way to if Leinster get a cold, Ireland get the flu. Like, it's the same. If things start going wrong in the Ireland level, it starts to trickle down into the provinces. And I think that's a bit of what's happened here as well. But look, you need to give them the chance. You need to give them the time to go, right, well, okay, it didn't work last week. Let's work on it again. See if the lads can get a bit more prepped and a bit more focused in it and then see what happens. But like Peter said, or John said, if it works, he'll be a fucking hero. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Thanks, Matt. Mike Grady, your thoughts on this and we're trying a new routine in the lineup. What do you think?
Well, that's all fine and well, but I mean, as the lads have already said, it's affecting Ireland as well. And the concern I have is going into the Six Nations. England will go after our lineup, no question about it. He told you we'll fucking go after our lineout, and Scotland will as well in the second game. And our strike plays are very much lineout orientated. We've always used the lineout as a playmaker. And it's the same with Leinster. And Leinster's game, like defensively, they look sound. But the difference in a year is remarkable, really. The attack and because of the importance of the line out with our attack play, it's definitely had a negative effect. Now I don't know what all this. I don't know why they complicate things. Like, you know, is there a necessity to? I mean, to complicate something that should be straightforward. Throw the ball into the lineout and fucking win it, and you have to secure ball. If you don't secure ball in the lineout, you have nothing. It's all very fine doing fancy plays and stuff like that, but the most important facet is the actual secure possession of the ball. And if they're not doing that, now I don't know what Nienaber is trying, but it all remains to be seen whether it's going to be successful or not. But they're definitely a specific line-out operator, but it has to be more than one because Ryan Baird, as you said, is injured. So, like, where do you go when he's not playing? You have to have a. I mean, O'Mahony was an exceptional line-out operator for Ireland for a number of years, and he's probably one of the best I've seen, like stealing opposition ball. If the lifter gets it right, but I think that part of the problem is they're too slow coming into the line-out, and I think speeding it up would help. I mean, they hold back 3-4 players, and then they walk in, and the throw goes in, and it goes fucking awry because they're not ready. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert on line-out by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a problem that needs to be addressed and urgently, especially for Ireland, because going forward into the Six Nations, this is the teams see it now as a weakness of ours, and they're going to try and exploit it. So
okay. You've reminded me of something there, Mike, when you're saying that. Dara Weston, you said last week or the week before, I think, I can't remember which one it was, that Ireland are too reliant on the set piece. Do you believe that to be true?
I didn't say we're too reliant on the set piece, but
you said something. You said something like that, very similar to that.
Okay.
You said, go on.
I think a lot of our success comes off set pieces, but yeah, I mean, when set pieces like lineouts malfunction, you can see then that things start to come apart at the seams.
I think that's the point you're making. I think that's the point.
Yeah. And just when people were saying if Ireland if Leinster catch a cold, Ireland get the flu, that's, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. It's basically if Bruce Wayne gets a cold, Batman gets a cold. You know, Leinster are practically the same as Ireland at this stage, really. They're the majority. So, you know.
All right. Okay, fair enough. Peter Martin. Sorry, go on, Dara. You finished? Dara, yep, finished.
Yep.
Dara?
Sorry. Yep.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Peter Martin. That I've tweaked Dara's quote to say that Ireland are too reliant on the set piece. Not verbatim from Dara, but I've changed it slightly.
You've made something up and fucking attributed it to me.
I have. I played the clip. I'll send you the.
He's just stirring shit, Barrett. That's all.
I'll send you the fucking clip. You said something very similar.
That's it.
You said something very similar to that. Go on, Peter Martin.
Say Mike said Matt's hair looked weird or something.
He probably did.
Go on. I probably did. Yeah. Go on. Peter Martin. Throughout 2024, is Ireland too reliant on the set piece? Come on.
Well, look, I'll put it to you like this, okay? As you all know, or for those who give a shit or whatever, I coach at under 13 level, okay? That's correct, and yes. One of the things we're starting to do with the kids, is basically introduce, starter plays, if you want to call them that. That's the terminology. Starter plays, and where do you start it off? It's off set piece. Why would you do it off set piece? The reason why we do it off set piece for the uninitiated is because everybody knows where they are off a scrum and a line-out. Okay? Everybody is static. Everybody's standing still. They're waiting for the ball to be put in by the scrum half at the scrum or the hooker to throw it in at the line-out. Everybody's standing still. Because you can work off something. You can start from a standing position at scrum and line-out. Okay? So that's really where this whole reliance comes from, is that we set up in a particular pattern. Usually it's the same pattern every single time. And then all of a sudden, once the ball's in, there's sudden movement. There's a switch play on, the blindside winger comes shooting in, perhaps to take a pop ball off the inside shoulder of the scrum half or the 10 or whatever the case may be. Okay? So it's really the best way to start a kind of attacking pattern is because everybody's stopped standing still. To use it, I read something there recently. I actually saw it on social media where Dowie Lake, the Welsh captain, was describing, and he gave a very, very good, insightful comparison in the style of play between the South Africans and the Kiwis, or sorry, not the Fijians, right? And he basically said, like, what you want to do, well, like, if you're basically in a situation where you're playing against Fiji and there's a ruck, you will want to basically to slow it down and force them into a penalty. Basically give away the penalty. Basically hold on. Don't roll away out of penalty. So the game stops. All right. Reason being, Fiji are incredibly difficult to stop when the ball is fluid and it's constantly moving because we know what they're like. They're fucking magic. They're incredible to watch. Absolute joy to watch because, like, the ball pops up out of a ruck and all of a sudden it's like, right, people are on their feet saying, what's going to happen next? Because it's going to be magic. It's going to go through 3 or 4 hands. There'll be some sort of, bust through the tackle. And next minute, like, they're all galloping towards the try line. On the other hand, he said about South Africa is what you want to do with South Africa is you don't want to give them penalties. You want to basically keep the ball moving the whole time because what they'll do is they'll slow it down. They'll basically look to go to set piece. They'll look for the scrum. They'll look for the line out because that is their bread and butter. That's where they're so strong. As we've seen in the last, your reference in 2024, what have we seen in the Rugby Championship? They're throwing up 2 pods. They threw up 2 pods at one stage during a couple of the matches where they had 2 separate pods up in the air simultaneously, threw to one and it went back to the other. It was like basically from here to there, within the same thing. It was like serious fucking stuff. Like, and of course, obviously, you can't touch the guys in the air. So, like, that's again coming back to the whole South Africa thing. Yeah. They're trying to think that the whole kind of piece ahead. So, bringing it back to what we're trying to do, anytime Ireland's set piece goes kaput, whether the scrum goes down, like, Porter might get fucking penalised for wrong angle or an early push or whatever the case may be, or indeed what we're talking about, the line out goes to shit. It's like the crowd in the Aviva groans because we know what we're talking about. Most of the fans, believe it or not, despite the fact that we're living in the Insta age, we do actually know what's going on as regards what Ireland are trying to do. So that's why, in a nutshell, and I'm going to wrap it up now, that's why our set piece is so important.
Right. Great job. Good point, Pete, and well made, and thanks, Sarah, as well. John Peters, your thoughts on this? The over-reliance, are we too dependent on the second set piece? I.e.,
we are.
We don't have a fluid attack.
We are. Well, I think the reason we don't have a fluid attack is because we don't have a proper attacks coach. And I might have mentioned it before that it's the same guy who coached Leinster, attack coach for Leinster last year, Andrew Goodman. I didn't see anything fluid in Leinster last year. I don't see anything from Ireland under his tutelage. And it is interesting to see with Tyler Blayendale, for the first time against Claremont, you actually saw Leinster, moving the ball around the field a bit, so actually a bit more fluidity in broken play. Ireland are, and it obviously sort of coming back what Pete is saying, yes, the set piece is, because everybody is static, where everybody is. It is part of our game, but I just would like to see a good case in point was when they played the Wallabies in the Test match. We never looked like scoring a try off broken play. We never looked at any stage of the field, and I think that comes back to the attack coach as much. I think Ireland, yes, they are reliant on the set piece, and because it's important, and it's so many strike plays we've seen in the past. When it was Mike Catt. Unfortunately, now I think the problem is it's not whether we're too reliant or not. I just don't think we have the right. Unfortunately, I think the attacking coach that Ireland has is not good enough to get the best out. When we had Mike Catt and under Andy Farrell, we saw great strike plays, and everybody admired Ireland because they were so skilled in what they did, and were scoring tries for fun, and it was almost like broken play, but it was all so structured. Everybody knew what to do. Now you sort of see I don't know if they know what they're doing. it just looks so rigid, and there's nobody trying to almost trying to mix and match a bit of Fijian class or a bit of Kiwi All Black classes. We just seem to be so reliant, and I am concerned going into Six Nations that we don't have an attacking game per se. Even if we get the lineouts going, get that right or the scrums right, I still worry about our attacking game. I still think of set piece. We have in the last 12 months at Ireland, certainly at Irish level, regressed dramatically. The attacking game has gone backwards, I think. So yes, we are too reliant on it, but we need to get it right, and we're not even doing that. So it's I think it's a double-edged sword that they're playing under at the moment.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, John. Good point. Matt Boland, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, like, I mean, look, set piece play is very important in a rugby match, regardless of anything else. You know, these are your kind of your bread makers, like your scrums set plays and your line out set plays. This is what, when executed right, this is what gets you points. Like, but I think, like, as Ireland fans, I think we were a bit spoiled in the recent years prior to 2024 that our set piece was quite accurate. We nearly had a 90%, 95% strike rate. So each set play that we played, we'd score off. And even looking back at what John said there, right? The attack coach, we've actually taken a step backwards in attack, because if you look again prior to 2024, every game that Ireland played, they would have scored maybe 10 points in the first 2 minutes of every game.
Yeah.
Now we can't do that. Now we're 10 minutes, 15 minutes in before we get a try, you know, and
40 minutes, Matt, sometimes 40 minutes.
Sometimes, but that'll show you where the attack has gone. Like, there doesn't seem to be that ferocity anymore, or that go forward or get up and go, or whatever the case may be, of whatever the coaches are doing wrong or not doing right, basically. But Ireland have definitely gone backwards in attack, and you can see it by every game we play now this year. Like, we're waiting for scores, like ages. What seemed like you're fucking nearly looking at the TV going, Jesus, last 10 minutes in, we have nothing on the board. Like, that wasn't Ireland of old. Now, I'm not saying old, like, this is only last year. Like,
no, I know, yeah.
Much more physical attacking team back then, and like, before you know it, like in some games prior to this year, the game fucking won at half time nearly. Do you know what I mean? And questions need to be asked there as well of the attack coaches. But I suppose, getting back to the set piece thing, like, it's a vital part of the game, and when it goes right and everything is hunky dory, it's great.
It's all plain sailing. It's
exactly
fantastic.
You know.
Yeah.
But like, set plays are a part of of gameplay in every team, not just Ireland. It's South Africa, it's France, England, everyone. You know, they all do.
Yeah, but it was the apparent Ireland's over reliance on the set piece match.
Yeah, we probably have been over reliant on the set piece recently because of what we have gained from it prior, because our set piece was second to none nearly, you know, a couple of years ago, and we were nearly, I'd say 90% of the set plays that we did back then, we were scoring from. So why wouldn't we be over reliant on the set piece? And that's where a lot of frustrations have come from fans then as well, you know. Sorry, John.
Maybe just, but could it be because of one individual not being there anymore?
Johnny Sexton.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Johnny Sexton not there.
Yeah,
is that
Just
not
stole
the attack coach? Are we you know, is it only now that we're realizing sort of, you know, what a player he was?
But you see, the thing about it is, like, Johnny Sexton not only was he a good player, he was a super motivator, and he wanted everybody to give 100%. And if somebody wasn't giving 100%, he'd fucking pull them up on it, going, "Get the cop onto yourself!" Like, you know, He was there, he was driving the team, he was the link between the backs and the. And
can I just say something? And based on that, I hear what you're saying as regards Sexton was, you know, right up until the very end, you know, arguably, and I would say arguably the best 10 in World Rugby now. To be those outside say, "Oh, will you shut the fuck up, Finn Russell?" But We'll leave it. We'll leave that for
Fuck off,
there.
would you?
The other side of it as well is,
Let's not forget
I
Manny
think,
Libot.
and I think we have to
No,
give
no.
we have to give credit to the opposition as well, as that for all, like, everybody's been talking, as everybody's said already so far, everybody's been talking about Ireland's attack being so this, that, and the other. I think it's fair to say other countries have been looking at what we're doing as well because we've been so good. And there comes a point in time where, you know, the tap, like the well runs dry from an idea perspective.
Yeah,
I think that is the reality
Sure.
of it. Like you referenced Australia and being that we couldn't score in a brothel against Australia. The point of the reality, what happened against Australia is they stayed. If you go back to the Australia game and watch the way they defended, they stayed on their feet. They didn't commit. They didn't rush up. They stayed on their feet. It's a high risk strategy to do that, not to commit, not to bite in, to basically rush up and stop and wait and wait and wait and then make your hit with the tackle. That's what they did, but that's how they stopped. And I just think it's a little bit disingenuous to turn around and say that we're gone to shit because, you know, our attack coach is there. There's an element of, yes, there is a changeover in attack. And I would like to actually point out that Goodman is actually skills coach. Farrell is our attack coach. Right. That is, okay. I think an awful lot of people make that. There is a slight difference there. But I do think people are, because our attack has been lauded and everybody's creaming themselves saying, oh my God, did you see what Ireland did there? Everybody is studying us. We've become the most studied attacking team. You can be sure of that.
As have Leinster, Pete. As have Leinster.
Yes, and that's exactly that. It's the domino effect. So I think, you know, there's no doubt about it. Farrell and Goodman and everyone else in that Irish team, and indeed Leinster, have a challenge in their hands to basically find another tweak, to go up a notch, to find that extra 1%. But you know, it's an element. I do think that, you know, we've been so well watched, and you know, we've been analysed to death by the opposition as well.
Maybe Sam Prendergast, Pete. Okay, hold on, folks, hold on. Mike Reedy, you haven't had a chance to say anything here yet. You go ahead, Mike.
I agree with all what the lads have said. There's a couple of other factors. Well, the main factor is Johnny Sexton isn't there any longer, and he directed absolutely everything Ireland did good over the last 10 years, and he's not there anymore. So now we have to, and also I would say that Gibson Parks, his form has dipped since his injury, and he's not as quick to the breakdown. And when everything then is a knock-on effect from that. You miss a pass, somebody misses a pass, drops it. Like, it's very uncharacteristic errors from Ireland, you know, like drop balls, and we were renowned as the most accurate, like, attacking team in world rugby. And like what Peter Martin just said, we will have been analysed like to the death by everybody, which is what you should do. Like, if you're an opposition coach, you should be analysing your opponent and seeing where you could possibly develop a weakness for him. But like, as regards like strike plays from line-out has always it is for most teams, because you have possession of the ball basically, and that's how you start. That's where you start from, either a scrum or a line-out. So you have possession of the ball. You've engaged all the forwards basically in either a line-out or a scrum, so it should open up space somewhere else. There's not that much wrong, lads. You know, we might be panicking too much. If we get things right, if we achieve the level of accuracy which we had, and we were absolutely renowned for it, and we were very, 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 very good now. In fairness,
sorry, Mike. I don't think it's panic per se.
No. But it is something that has. Listen, the line-out has got to be got right, because every team is going to go after us now. It's as simple as that. And teams will actually kick balls to touch because they know we're fucking struggling. They'll kick balls to touch thinking we've got almost a 50-50 chance. And at the moment it is 50-50 of winning the ball back. So they'll play lineouts that, and we had 24 lineouts in the Australia game. 24 lineouts in one game is fucking astronomical for one team.
How many did we win?
we won 70% or something like that happened. Or I think we lost five lineouts. That's way too much. That's way too many to be losing in one game. And but
yeah,
as regards attacking, we're not blessed with the quickest wingers like in World.
I know you keep saying this, and they're
we're
not
not.
Irish.
So we have to find other ways. We have to find other ways, and until we do, I mean, I certainly don't have the solution for it, but.
No, none of us do, and it will certainly not be solved within an hour here tonight's show. But thank you, Mike.
Doesn't have the solution.
Right, okay. Right, a quick one, gents, before we go on to our the quick look back on 2024. Quick one. Dara Weston, Porter, Ryan, Furlong, Aki, all signed their centre contracts. Looks like Crowley and Mac Hansen will be offered central contracts too. Crowley and Hansen deserved central contracts, Dara?
Hansen, I would say yes, based on the last couple of years now. Okay, since injury, he's kind of, you can see I think in fairness, he was given more game time than he deserved, possibly in the autumn internationals. To try and get him back up to speed again, and try and get him back into the flow. But he's getting there. But like, he's been outstanding for Ireland for years. Crowley, I mean, yeah, I suppose he's still, fairly young in terms of number of caps. But look, sure, they have to give the odd central contract to Munster, otherwise they'll complain about it.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Dara. Well, there you go. Peter Martin, briefly, I don't want to spend too long on this because we have a list to go through. Crowley and Hansen deserved of central contracts?
Yeah, I think. Look, Crowley's going to be there for the next few years. Like, obviously, Hansen is. The two of them are basically, there's a kick in the arse, their age between them. So, like, they're nailing them down. They're nailing the colours to the mast that these guys are going to be central going forward. Yeah, look, I'm not surprised by them, to be honest. Not surprised. It's the right move. People are moaning about Crowley having mixed game, but like, one thing about Crowley, he's very resilient mentally, and you have to be as a 10. And I think people forget that a little bit. Like, he's after doing, a full Six Nations, and he did bloody well. And I think some people are basically like, eating bread is soon forgotten. I think people are just only remembering what he's done last week, where he kicked it. He went for
yeah.
Went out to the full and saying, "Oh, he's fucking shite." Bullshit. They don't know what they're on about. End of story. Yeah. He's, there's going to
be the keyboard warriors piece. We're all familiar with
the rough, with the smooth, and there'll be plenty of rough yet from Crowley, but we're going to get the smooth with him as well.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Dara. John Peters, Crowley and Hansen deserved to have central contracts?
I think so, yes. I mean, it's an investment. You're investing in them for the future. They're still very young, so look, we want to tie them down. They're good players. They're both good players. As Pete says, look, Crowley, he hasn't played well of the last few games, but he is a good player. As I say, sometimes form is temporary, class is permanent. He is a good player. There's no question about it. And I think Hansen as well. You started to see it towards the end of the autumn series that he was starting to get back into that sort of that rhythm which we saw. So I have no issue with it there, sir. I do have an issue that I will say is slightly off track. I do disagree with Aki getting the central contract. He's getting a bit old, and I think there are other players out there that he could have invested money in to their
like who, like who, John? Like who, John?
I think Jamie Osborne for a start is definitely up there. I think players like Tom Farrell in Munster they could be looking at sort of investing more. I think the guy Jude Postlethwaite in what he called up there in Ulster as well.
Yeah, Ulster.
Those are players for the future. I think they should be looking to invest time in that because Bundy's not going to be around for the next World Cup. I don't think. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But
it's only a year though, John. It's only a year. I think Aki signed for.
Is it only a year? Okay, well that's
yeah.
fine. Yeah, okay. But
I think Porter and Furlong 2 years,
2
James
years.
Ryan 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, the main thing is to say, so Crowley and Hansen, yes, they've deserved it, you know. So they're investments for the future, for the next World Cup.
All right. Okay. Matt Boland, deserved central contracts for those two?
Yeah, look, you've got to, as John said, you've got to invest in the future, and you've got to nail these guys down when they're young, because somebody could flash money in front of them and they could be off. Do you know what I mean? So it is important to retain what we think is good prospects of rugby and give them a central contract to get them staying here, because unfortunately, as you said, like players are only judged on their last performance, and when you have a bad performance, they forget about everything that was good beforehand, and that's your typical. I've harped on about it so many times here about fucking keyboard warriors. Like, you make one mistake on a fucking pitch, and then you're fucking cast out on social media, and it's a load of bollocks, you know.
Yeah.
And most of these fuckers that are doing this have never even set foot on a fucking rugby pitch and have no idea what it's like to play 80 fucking minutes. So that's plain and simple for that, you know. But yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay, Mike Reedy.
Yeah, I would agree with the lads. I think both of them have the right age profile to be given a central contract, and they're both, like, going forward, they're probably both going to be key figures in the Ireland setup. I think Crowley and it looks like Sam Prendergast are going to fight out for the 10 short, but they'll both be in the squad, I would imagine, for most match day squads, you know, if they're fit.
Yeah.
And but I agree with John. I was a bit surprised, but now that you've qualified it by saying Bundy's only got a year, which I think is fair enough, because he's 34, I think, or something like that now, you know, and he's definitely not going to be around for the World Cup.
He's ancient, Mike. He's ancient.
Well, he's like, in the grand scheme of things, playing in the centre, like, you know, you need to be. I think it's more of a benefit to have youth on your side, and there are other options in the 12 short in particular. There's that other boy at Connacht as well. What's his name? Ford. Cathal Ford.
Cathal Ford.
And the other boy, Gavin. Yeah, Hugh Gavin. They look excellent prospects, both of them. Yeah. And like, we have options at centre, so. Like, I can't understand why none of those Irish guys have played for Connacht since the autumns. You know, all the other provinces have all their international players have been playing. So, like, they've had an extra few weeks off. Why, I'm not sure. I think giving him game times and also giving him that support now might bring his game back on, because he did have a rather reserved autumn series, really, you know, and he got a lot of game time. I think he played in every game, and he, like, you know, by the standards he had set prior to getting injured, like, you know, he was definitely off the mark a little bit, but the whole team worked. So
okay, Mike, thanks for that. I just want to get through a few comments that people are sending in. Mike Sheedy, Mike, is Santa red and white, Munster colours and Ormond RFC. Everyone, Merry Christmas. Have a great one. Thanks, Mike. And same to you.
Cheers, buddy.
Our colleague Danny Brosnan posted in a group of retired versus current. Most seem to go for the older team down to overall smarts. Is it a larger problem in the camp? I don't know. Danny. Kieran Ryan, have we gone back, or our teams after finding out how to play us? This is what you were saying, Pete.
Yeah.
This Six Nations will be the strongest it's been in years. I think there's 4 teams going into this Six Nations to win it. That would be ourselves, England,
Scotland, France.
Scotland, France. Yeah. Scotland, France, yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I'd take England out of that. I'd say they'll be with Wales. I think I'd nearly put Italy above them. Well,
just
not
really. Okay. All right. Okay.
Before you move on, Peter, right?
Well, Mash, yeah.
Move breaking today. A great bit of business by fucking Ulster Rugby on giving Zach Ward a fucking 3-year deal.
Yeah.
So I think that's a
excellent
quality signing. And we actually spoke about that off air, Peter, a couple of weeks ago.
We did. Yes, we did indeed. Right, gentlemen, we have 15 minutes. Jesus Christ. This always happens every bloody fucking week.
Always happens. You always get out about it.
We
And
can
we
have a
always give
2 hour.
out about that.
We can have
Well,
2 hours
actually, no,
without
Peter Martin, we don't have Claire Devaney has not graced us with her presence this evening, although she did threaten to do so. But she has found a bar in Fuerteventura. So she normally
Claire's looking at
criticizes
the
us.
bottom of it last than you. I don't
You might
blame
be
her.
there again.
I wouldn't fucking
See,
blame her.
I was going to say, she always says, Berkey, your time. What's your time? I said, I know, I'm seeing it. I'm looking at it. Right, anyway.
Yeah, but there's 10
Quickly.
minutes injury time.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's it. Dara Weston, let's have a quick look back at 2024 for the Irish rugby team. Our Six Nations, we won the championship. It wasn't a Grand Slam. We lost one of our games, albeit marginally. Would you look back at 2024, Dara, and think, yeah, that was a good year for Irish rugby? Or would you be in two minds about it?
Yeah, I would think it was a good year in Irish rugby. I think it was Pete made the point that we've been spoiled. And I mean, to what Peter was saying about, it's more other teams are learning to. There's an element of the whole Jack Charlton, Wendy Ball success in that once other teams kind of sussed how to play Ireland after Italia 90, USA 94, there was a bit of a drop in performance. So, it could possibly be that people are overanalyzing the way Farrell runs the team and, his tactics. But look, I think based on the Six Nations in 2024, we'd still have a lot of lads on the Lions playing. And I hope we're saying the same come this coming Six Nations in 2025, because that's what'll make Andy's mind up on picking the team.
Okay. If I just look, before I come on to you, Pete, thanks, Sarah, but before I come on to everyone else, looking at the Six Nations last year, our opening game was we were away to France. We beat France quite well, 38-17. The next game, we were at home to Italy. We beat them 36-0. That was the 11th of February. Then we had Wales on the 24th of February. We were home. We beat them 31-7. Then we lost by a point away to England in Twickenham, 23 points to 22. And then we were at home to Scotland on the 16th of March, and we beat Scotland 17 points to 13. That was just the Six Nations. Pete, going on just the Six Nations, and I suppose what I asked Dara, I suppose I'm kind of stretching the question here, but do you think 2024 was a good year for Irish rugby?
I would say it is. It was. Like as we've mentioned already, we had to deal with the retirement of arguably, possibly our greatest 10, or it was right in the conversation there to be the greatest 10 we've had. We had to deal with that retirement, and we had, we gave Jack Crowley the jersey, and he did bloody well steering us through all those games. So look, it's funny, like you started off with the results and how everything started from here and kind of went that direction, and I think that's a feature of Ireland under Farrell, and I suppose maybe in general of our team in general over the last number of years, is that we bolt out the gate and then we struggle to cross the line, at the end. And perhaps that's something that, Easterby, he's got the reins in his hand now for this, and it'll be interesting to see, will he be able to bring his own sense, his own bit of something, his own, interpretation of what we're trying to do, what he's trying to do, his own mark on the team, on the group of players, and see if we can, I suppose, like perhaps maintain a solid, a straight line kind of level of excellence from the gun, like, against England, where we're scoring. We sort all these problems out, like we've already addressed, the issues with the line out. Here's hoping that we're out the gate against England and we banish that 1 point loss. and it's convincing because, like, England, for all I suppose the green shoots that they showed last year, they're in a fucking world of trouble. They're in the fucking pits at the moment. Like, they're a mess. They're still a mess, right? That's it is what it is. Like, they're still a mess. Their domestic game is still a mess.
And their league, Pete, and their league.
Well, look,
or the Premiership, or whatever you call it.
One follows the other. So, like, I'd be hopeful that, we're going to see something else. I said it before, perhaps controversially, but you're fucking, I'll say it again anyway. Who's to say that Prendergast isn't going to be given the 10 jersey to start, and it could be between himself and, Prendergast to start, Farrell to finish, or Crowley to finish, and vice versa. This could be the new Sexton O'Gara handover,
Tony Ward, Ollie Campbell.
Absolutely. Look, we're not new to this. This is not our first rodeo with this situation, all right? And we need to embrace it. We need basically people who are fucking dyed in the wool with their own with their parochial pajamas, their provincial pajamas, to cop the fuck on and decide, look, let's put on the green jersey and let's hope, aren't we, and think we're blessed yet again to have two young pups who are going to fight like cats and dogs for that 10 jersey, and to be with the talent that's around them and outside them to get them around the pitch. And here's hoping for a great Six Nations to come.
Good. Yeah. No, totally agree, Pete. Yeah. John Peters, your thoughts on this?
Sorry, can I just say on Pete's comment about Easter being, I think that's like when my ma used to go away and leave me alone in the house. And there'd be a note put on the freezer saying pizza's in the second drawer. There'd be a note on the oven saying turn the oven on. I think he'd be left fairly strict instructions by Andy about what to do in his absence.
Thank you very much, Darren. That's brilliant. Well done. John Peters.
You turn out well, Darren.
Oh my God. Would you fucking stop it? John Peters, go on.
Look, in 10, 15 years' time, the records will show that Ireland won the Six Nations in 2024 was the good one. Average, I would say. I think, we were, to Pete's point, it was a new beginning, Crowley taking the helm. I think as well, sir, we badly missed Gary Ringrose in the Six Nations. He didn't play at all, injured. I think that Joe McCarthy, that was a positive, came through, sir, for that. They won. They started like as you say, the first couple of games thought, look, this is, especially against France, they're going to be just unbeatable in the Six Nations. They came a cropper against England, but they still won the Six Nations. And then they kicked on from it there as well. So, we'll probably talk about it later on. So, for me, look, they won the Six Nations. And again, I think it comes back to we're spoiled. We've been spoiled for the last 10, 15 years by Irish rugby. And all of you guys here, you all remember what it was like in the dark old days in the 90s.
Yes.
And now it is. We complain maybe too much there, where in actual fact, so as Speedy says, our teams are working us out. We've got to find a way to work them out or to get there. But look, something to be sniffed at for a country that has a playing population that we have. We are so successful at international and at club level as well. So success, yes, definitely. IRFU are very happy because the coffers get filled for them as well. So all in all, Six Nations, a success for the Irish team.
And particularly, John, when rugby is the fourth most popular sport in this country. Fourth, is it third, fourth, or fifth, or whatever it is?
Fourth or fifth, Peter.
Yeah, fourth or fifth. Yeah, as opposed to New Zealand, where it's
a religion.
It's a religion that you're born with a rugby ball in your hand.
Up there with Jason.
Matt Boland, your thoughts on 2024 overall for Irish rugby, the Six Nations. Now, I'm going to come on to the Autumn Nations now in a second, but just let's start with the Six Nations.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, if you think back, like, as you said, like our first game out of the blocks against France and fucking destroyed them in Paris, and probably our best performance on a record-winning match against France in Paris, and kicked on there, like won the Six Nations, lost by 2 points. So that's like a conversion in that England game would have got us a Grand Slam. That's a massive success. Do you know what I mean? Taken away from the fact that we lost our probably our best 10 in the world, probably one of the greatest players Ireland has seen in the last 10, 20 years as
All right,
well.
calm down. But calm down.
And
Brian O'Driscoll, calm down. Brian O'Driscoll, calm down.
I said one of the best. Listen to what I'm fucking saying to you. So, but you know what I mean? Like to do that after losing somebody that's as good as Johnny was is a result. Do you know what I mean? And Ireland are now revered in as a rugby team. Teams aren't coming here to win. They're coming here to want to beat us. Like years ago, they were coming here and we were going to watch the opposition play against Ireland. Realistically, do you know what I mean? Because the All Blacks are coming. Wow, this is a spectacular. Ireland are having a chance of winning. We're going to watch New Zealand play. You know, now the teams are coming here and they really, really want to beat us. And that's where Ireland rugby is at the minute. You know, we've been in the top spot for several times over the last couple of years. And, you know, that's a fucking great place to be for Irish rugby. And that's why we're where we are, and it's why everybody wants to come and beat us now. So 2004 was definitely a success for Irish rugby.
And the Springboks take playing us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was just going to say, gentlemen, New Zealand traditionally, they still do charge an appearance fee when they go and play certain games. I think Ireland should do that as well.
Absolutely.
Or start doing it.
Can you imagine
Mike,
the box?
Mike Reedy, your thoughts on 2024? Let's just go with the Six Nations to start with. Overall,
I would say a definite success. I mean, bar the hiccup, and it's only if that was a hiccup, lads, that in Twickenham. I think we went in there and with the wrong attitude, maybe because of people saying stupid things like Jamie Heaslip saying Ireland would need to go down to 13 fucking players for England to have a chance. I mean, that's embarrassing saying something like that prior to a game. You're fucking. All he had to do was post.
When did he say that?
He said it prior to the England game.
He actually did. Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
He's the reason he fucking lost. He put the mockers.
That's all he had to do was print that up onto the fucking wall. That's all Borthwick had to do before that game. Put that on the wall.
For Heaslip.
Yeah.
But like our first game post Johnny Sexton was away in Marseille to France, and we absolutely pummeled them. It was like an incredible performance, and like it was seamless. It was a seamless transition to Jack Crowley, and then we play Italy and nil them in Dublin. As in international rugby, and especially in Six Nations, teams don't generally get nilled, and they were lucky to get fucking nilled if we're honest. But and then we beat Wales convincingly, and then went to Twickenham. No, I don't know what. A few things went wrong in Twickenham, but we shouldn't dwell on that. And I know you said we was only going to talk about. We went to South Africa then, and we actually should have won that series in South Africa. No question about it for me.
The tangent strikes again.
Yeah, but sure, we're talking 24. but,
no, I know.
You can start then. I'll start talking about that. And we'll go around the other way if you want.
No. I tell you what, Mike. No, I tell you what. I'll come back to you. I just want to. Our pal Dave Sheedy. Is that the Christmas Grinch? I presume he's talking about sitting in Scotland, and elf on the shelf beside him. There you go, Matt Boland, your elf on the shelf. Right, Dara Weston.
Yes.
The Autumn Nations.
Yes.
We kind of.
What about the South African tour?
Would you shut up? Would you stop?
What's before the Autumn Nations?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
South African listeners, would you stop?
I know. I'm just. We don't have the time, Mike. If time was infinite, we'd be here all.
We could go into altitude and all that kind of
stuff. I know. I'm selecting. I'm being very selective with the subject matters here, so we can talk about them and get them in. Look, we're nearly at an hour at the moment. Dara Weston. The Autumn Nations, a lot of people thought that Ireland as a team kind of regressed a bit. Although it wasn't, it was a relative success, 3 out of 4 wins. But a lot of chat was we weren't really that great. Dara, would you agree with that?
I think people went into it with very high expectations. I think everybody thought, Jesus, we'll beat the All Blacks. You can. I remember saying this before the match. You can never assume you'll beat the All Blacks. They're dangerous. Whatever team if they put out their under 12s team, they'd be dangerous because they'll all be 6'2" with beards and mustaches, and they're the under 12s. So okay, we lost that by 10 points, 13-23. Then we had Argentina game. That was tight. We won that by, I think it was 3 points. Then, okay, Fiji, that was a walkover. It was 50 odd points, wasn't there, in the difference on
52-17. 52-17.
And then we had the Australian team, which are transitioning to become a Trans-Ireland team under Joe Smith. And we beat them by 3 points. So, I think it was good, Autumn Nations. Like, I mean, if you only lose to New Zealand, in my book, that's still a good result. You managed to beat the other 3 teams you're playing in. I think that's a good result.
Okay, Peter Martin, your overall view of the Autumn Nations.
Well, I'll start off by saying that Ireland were probably 6.5 to a 7 out of 10 performance-wise. And again, to echo what Dara said, we lost by New Zealand by 10 points, not 20. Even though we like, call a spade, we stunk. You could smell us. We smelled bad. Like, we were that bad. We smelled. And it didn't get a whole lot better against Argentina, to be fair. Against Fiji, Sam Prendergast could have been red carded. We escaped a little bit, perhaps, there with that. We'll just leave that for leave that there for what it was. And we have the Australia game, as they've had a significant turnaround under Schmidt in the last 12 months. Holy fucking shit! Like, at least the Lions series is going to be competitive, as opposed to being a walk in the park, which it looked like a year ago. Let's call a spade a spade.
They changed as much as Bruce Jenner in the last year.
Jesus.
That's a great line, Dara. That's for 2024, actually.
I could see the pronoun police now all over.
Yeah, they're coming to us.
Look,
I didn't use any pronouns. I used name.
Yeah, there you go. But anyway,
go on, Pete.
Anyway, just to re-emphasize the point, we weren't great, but we still won 3 out of 4, and 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Yeah, true. Very true, Pete. Yeah, very true. Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Dara. John Peters. Yeah, go on, John. I'm not going to ask another question because I
think it was a 6.5 or 7 out of 10, like Pete said. Look, we fluffed our lines against New Zealand. Although it was like caught in the headlights. They just didn't perform on the night. People were criticising, they just got by Argentina. Argentina beat New Zealand in Wellington. They beat the South Africans in Argentina, and they beat. Anybody could have beaten Australia at that point, but they beat Argentina. Yeah. They beat the New Zealand and South Africa, right? They didn't beat Ireland, so that was regardless of them just collapsing over the line, they beat Argentina. Fiji, forget about that, and I think Australia. We stumbled across the line, and I think a bit of that maybe that big match experience came to the fore, which maybe for me got them from a 5 out of 10 for the Autumn to 6.5, 7 out of 10. Because, in fairness, Joe Schmidt, he knows a lot of those players, those Irish players, so he'll have done his homework with what's the guy's name there with the floppy hat who he has there on his coaching staff there. I can't remember his name.
Laurie Fisher.
Laurie Fisher. He worked at Munster, so those guys would have had a lot of intel on the Irish team, and they used it very well. And you could see that a lot of plays that Ireland did against Australia knew what was coming. And as you said, Pete, they didn't commit too many to tackle. They knew what they're doing. So if it was successful Autumn series, the results say it is. From a playing perspective, maybe not so. But look, as I say, we're still again it comes back. We're spoiled. We're being spoiled by these guys. So I'd say success in the overall bit scheme of things.
All right. Okay. Thank you, John. Matt, your thoughts on that?
Look, absolutely, it was a success because at the end of the day, 3 out of 4 tests and losing to New Zealand is not a bad series, like at all. Do you know? And
but Matt, from a performance,
yeah, look, yeah, maybe 50-60%. You know, but like that just shows like this is a good team. So when they're having an off day, they can still beat these quality sides because. Let's face it, Argentina were in that championship to the very last weekend where results and a good performance in their last game could have made them champions of the championship. That's unbelievable. So they're a really good, strong team. And you look at Australia, the turnaround that Joe Schmidt has done with them in the last 12 months is phenomenal. They're like people were axing them from the Lions tour, and now they're all eating their fucking words because that's going to be a quality tour next year. Like, but again, as John said, like they had a lot of intel into Ireland, and as he had said, like the only thing that kind of let them down on that day was the big match performance, and we grounded out. And good teams grind out wins, whether they're playing really good or really bad, and we still won. So you know, for me, it's a success. Not a pretty one. Not the way we are expecting our team to play because we have such high expectation because we have been so spoiled over the last 10, 15 years that we expect we win every game. But we know rugby is not like that. You play the same team 10 times, you'll get 10 different results. So,
Here, tell me about it. I know from playing
absolutely,
the game. I know. We all know. Mike Reedy, your thoughts on the Autumn Nations? A success? The year, everything.
I would say we regressed as the year went on, lads. I know you're not wanting to talk about it, but the South African, we went away and drew a series in South Africa in between the Six Nations and the Autumn.
No, it's not that we don't want to talk about it, Mike. It's that we don't have the time.
No, but I'm just going to say, we could have won that game with a bit of luck and referees making proper decisions. Now we went into the Autumns probably expecting to win all the games, and it was disastrous, really. The way we played against, it wasn't disastrous, wrong to say that, but like it was disappointing how we played against New Zealand, and we got a little bit better game on game. But what Matt just said there, like, you know, when it came to the Australia, like closing out the Australia game, we had the nous to actually win a game that we could easily have, and we could have lost against Argentina. Make no mistake about that. We could have lost that game. But we didn't, and that's the difference now with an Irish team as against even 10 years ago. Before we won in Chicago against New Zealand, we hadn't the fucking clue how to finish out a game against them. When we kept close on several occasions and couldn't get over the line, but now we know how to do that. And I think we'll come good against New Zealand again next time we play, and we'll be more clever and we'll hope so anyway. But it's a relative success, I suppose. Lads, we've introduced a few new players, so that has to be a success. Like Sam Prendergast and who else came in? Young McCarthy, hooker, and like we've had some other new players, Joe McCarthy this year, and I think there's six new caps in the calendar year, and that's like that in itself has to be deemed successful. And none of these players have come in and been a fucking flop. I mean, you see all the numbers of other teams. They have 15 new players capped. But how many of them are going to be capped again in the future? Like, how many of them have been a success? I would say every player that Ireland has capped. Young Osborne is another one. They've all been a success.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Mike. Very good point.
That in itself. You made that, as Peter, you said a few weeks ago about Scotland blooding so many players. You know, more caps than that. But it just struck me there. Who the hell did Scotland play in the summer? All Mickey Mouse teams. They didn't play. They played fucking Chile, Uruguay. I mean, sir, come on. Yeah, I mean, you could have put a mini rugby player out there.
Now you know that.
Sorry?
But they're contenders for the Six Nations now. You know that because they beat all them teams really, really well.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, don't be scared. They'll do okay. They'll do okay.
I'm taking the piss, Mike. Jesus Christ.
I know. All right. Okay.
I
Right
think
now.
Peter, it's
We
probably
will-
just quickly worth mentioning the women's autumn performance.
Sure.
I mean, they didn't have a great Six Nations now, and they had the Italy result didn't go against them, and the England result was pretty painful. I mean, they beat Australia up in Kingspan. They beat the All Blacks. They were unfortunate against Canada because otherwise they would have won. Is it the Utrecht Shield? Is the women's version of the Rayburn Shield?
Yeah.
And then they beat the USA women, so they had 3 out of 4 wins as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was at the Italian game actually. I remember that.
Okay.
I was at the Italian game. I remember that. Anyway, gentlemen, we shall finish as always with a win, lose, or draw prediction for the 2 Interpros that are coming up this weekend. One on Friday and one on Saturday. Not going to the Leinster match. My pass was refused, unfortunately. But sure, there you go.
They found
These
you
things
up.
happen. They found me out, but sure, look, it's hit and miss. You win some, you lose some, as I said.
All right. You never leave a floater when Jerry Thornley is behind you.
Stephen Jones got your pass, Peter. That's what happened. He's got
Well,
your
he
pass.
probably did. He probably has. But anyway, my application was refused. But sure, look, there you go. We live and learn. Right, Dara Weston. The first one up is Ulster are entertaining Munster up in Ravenhill. Dara, who's win, lose, or draw?
As you know, I'm contractually obliged to say Munster should win, but I actually think it could be a very close match. It could be near a draw even.
Oh, do you think?
I think so. I
Ooh,
think
okay.
I'm confident Richie's going to pull out a surprise at some stage. I don't know if he'll turn them over now, but I think it could be a close match.
Okay, so well, you have to call a winner or a draw. You have to call it lose, win, draw for Ulster. The home team. You have to call it.
Oh, fuck it, I have to waste Christmas present. Draw.
Okay, DW draw. Okay, Peter Martin.
I'm going to say Ulster are going to win that.
Ulster. Okay, PM. Ulster. Okay, John Peters.
Munster, because Ulster's pack is so shite at the moment. And I think Ulster, and the backs are well matched, but I think Munster's pack is a bit stronger. So I will back Munster, regrettably, for this one.
Okay, JP Munster. All right. Okay, and sorry, I meant to say. Excuse me. Sorry, no, I go around there. Matt Boland. Ulster v Munster.
Yeah, I think I'm actually going to go with John there on Munster because I think Ulster have a lot of injuries at the moment as well. So there's a lot of injured players, and I think Munster are just they're gonna do it up there. I think it'll be a 1-score game. It'll be close, but I think Munster just edge it.
Okay, MB Munster. Okay, Mike Reedy.
Well, I hope Munster win it, but I without any conviction, I'm afraid. If the Munster team turn up that played last week, I would say it looks as if who wants to lose the game fucking more with Munster and Ulster at the moment. But I'll have to say Munster because I'm a Munster man, so I'm not going to I'm not going to back against them.
No, but you have to be realistic and just whoever you think.
It's not unrealistic, is it, to say it could go either way? But I have to pick Munster.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. All right, Mike. Back to you. I'll go around the other way. Leinster are entertaining Connacht.
Is that at Lansdowne Road? Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't matter where it is, and you can play.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Leinster will win that. I can't say a bonus point anymore because they fucking let me down last week with a shite performance. But there we go.
Yeah. All right. Calm down. Matt Boland.
Leinster.
Okay. John Peters.
Leinster.
Okay. Peter Martin.
Yeah, Leinster. No idea what kind of team is coming out, but I think we're in better shape anyway than Connacht are. So yeah,
Connacht were very good last week, by the way.
I think it'll be a Leinster third team to be honest with you. Or something like that, I'd say.
But
I'd say Ryan Baird will be playing. I'd say Baird and Penny and Conan will be the back row for that match.
Probably, yeah. I think you're right. Dara Weston, Leinster. Leinster. Okay, fair enough. Geez, you're quick out of the blocks on that one. Leinster. Okay.
Yeah.
As you said
All
yourself, Leinster would be entertaining Connacht. They'd be entertaining the fans. I don't think Connacht will feel very entertained at the end of the match. But
Yeah.
We're looking for James Brennan's bad jokes.
Jeez.
No, shut up. No, Peter Martin, stop. Don't encourage him. Don't.
Thank God he's not here.
I noticed Chair Brennan isn't in the comments to give his presidential address.
I'm not fanboy. I'm the only one who's basically calling us all out on being fucking fanboy to Brennan's jokes.
Oh, I unfollowed him, so I'm definitely not a fanboy.
No, I'm no. Whichever for you, shut up. I'm not fucking.
I'm only friends with him on Facebook for his dog.
Not the
That's
joke.
Very good.
Right, gentlemen, ladies,
We'll get Hugo on here instead of Brennan.
Do more fucking sense.
Ladies and gentlemen of the viewership, thank you very, very much for watching and joining in and offering your sentiments and your opinions and your texts and all this sort of stuff. We appreciate it every week. Also, my thanks to Mike Reedy, Matt Boland, John Peters, Peter Martin, and Dara Weston. This is our last show of 2024. We will be back in, I think it's the first or second week in January we'll be back, but we will be back. So thank you all for your input, your viewership and everything throughout 2024. It's been a great year, an interesting year, and it was fantastic for us to have you along with us because, as I've often said here, we do this in conjunction with you lot because the show is nothing like this is six Egypts talking about rugby, but your opinions matter, you know. So there you go. Speak for myself. Okay, I'll speak for myself. So listen, folks. Thank you all for the panel this evening. You've been very good. You will see more of us next year. And by the way, our first guest on the 9th of January is the ex-Leinster Saracens Munster Ireland player, and he's a British and Irish line, is Mr. Paul Wallace. So do join us then. Until then, folks, have a great Christmas, have a great New Year, and thank you very, very much. Folks, good night. Enjoy the rest of your evening and
Happy
take care.
Christmas,
Happy Christmas, everybody.
Happy Christmas.
Enjoy.
Everybody.
Take care.
Good
Bye.
luck.